First thing we are going to do here is we are going to set up one instance of Azure Cache for Redis, right? So first thing, log into Azure portal, then go to menu, check all services, then click on databases, and you will find Azure Cache for Redis. Click on it, and as you can see, I already have one instance, but to show you demo, I will create the another one, right? So click on create button, and it will open a page for you which would list the configuration you have to set up. So we start from subscription and then choose resource group, then we choose the Redis server name, and it will check for all the details and it will approve, right? The next thing, you have to choose the location. Let's say I choose the East US location, right? You can also choose the close location from your side. Then next you have to choose cache type. You can click on view full pricing details here, and you have plenty of tiers to choose from. Enterprise tiers, you can see, have very high cache of 715, 345, and so on, and also the cost of that would also be very high. As you can see, this goes into a lot of higher numbers, something only the enterprise can handle. Then comes your standard tiers: C0, C6, C1, C2, C3, C5, C6, and so on. As you can see, I picked the most basic one, C0, right? So here it says C1, I will switch to C0, right? Then comes the next tab, networking. Here you will pick the endpoints: public, private, virtual. Basically it's a connectivity method for you. And then comes advanced settings like your version of Redis and whether to allow non-TLS ports or not. If you don't check this, those ports will be disabled by default. Then comes tags. These you can enable, disable, and then finally review and create. So you will review everything and then hit create to create an instance, right? So I already created one instance, and as you can see it is listed here. So I will click on it so that we can go to that instance, and here you can see the host name, and next would be to check the host name and keys. So to use the keys, we'll click on access keys, where you have primary and secondary keys, then primary connection string, secondary connection string, and so on, right? So what you can do in this case is you can basically check all the features there in advanced settings, scale, cluster size. Most of these features will be locked considering you have basic tier. So we'll just stick to advanced settings where we can enable disable SSL, and here you can see our port 6380, right? Rest of the settings you can play around with if you want. Now let's go to overview and let's check out our Redis console, and we are going to take a look at some of the commands for Redis console, right? So say you want to check first thing, which is going to be ping, right? So click on console, and here as you can see you are connected. Now first thing, we will simply say ping, and it should return with the pong message. Similarly, if I type in info, it will post all the info related to this Redis server. Now if I want to echo something, I will type in echo, then within double quote I will write my brand name, and it will return that in echo message. Now we will come to set and get part, where we can set the keys and retrieve them. So set and say this is company, and let's say this is the name I want to get when I type in company. Right now let's say get company and you get the key. Like this we have list and we have sets as well. So let's try out with list. So I will use L push as keyword, then I will use fruit as my list, and I will first add apple into it, then I will add banana to the list. Right, then let's add one more fruit, which is right. Let's not stop at this, and let's keep creating things like strawberry. Right now the thing is I want to view everything from this particular list, so I will use L range and then fruit 010, and notice that everything from the list is displayed. However, the last one is the first to show, as you can see, and first one is the last to show. Right, so that's how the list work with Redis. Now if you want, you can also try out sets. So for set we will use s add, and then see I have basket with item 1. Right, now let's add another thing for basket, item 2, s add, and then basket item 3. Right, and like this I can go on and on. Right, and like this we will keep on increasing the list. Now I want to get all the members of this set using s members and then name of that set, and notice that last one is first to show and first one is last to show. So this is pretty much we work with keys, list, then there is pub sub. Right, and you can also take a look at your typical say log, that is also one that you can explore. Right, and you can also take a look at some of the server related setting, like at what port it would respond and how it should add the message. Like say if you create a channel in Redis and subscribe to that or unsubscribe, and you take specific set of messages from that, so that is also possible, but I suggest you to explore as a developer into this Redis console. Right, for now you can try some of these commands and see what works for you. Right, simply typing in here within console would work as well. Right, so you don't even have to manually say log in or add some keys here, because within Azure if you use it, it will let you log in without any issues at all. Right, now to exit out of this you can type exit here, or you can simply close this. That should work. Now in order to connect to external database apps, what you can do is you copy this host name and then come to settings and then check the access, copy this primary key. These two things are good to go for connecting to this server. Right, so pretty much you would be able to work with your data also with this Redis server. My suggestion would be to create some sample app in Python or JavaScript, and you can add this host name and primary key as your authentication options and test out the features. there is table plus and navigate that you can use for connecting to Redis server, and that is one more way for you to connect and work with the data, right? And here you can see the live usage of your Redis server as well. So I hope that this idea helps you to create something on your own, and also you get the idea on how to work with Azure Cache for Redis in Azure Cloud.